If you're a business or merchant, you may have seen lately that the number of credit card disputes or chargebacks has gone up. Every business occasionally gets a dispute or a credit card chargeback. And some of these are legitimate. Some of them are people that had their credit card stolen. Sometimes they're people who bought a defective product. But more frequently, the credit card companies and the banks are seeing customers actually cheating businesses, according to this article. Disputes are on the rise as consumers cheat businesses. How is this happening? What is happening? In the business, this is called friendly fraud, and it's up 20 to 30% in the last year. This is coming from Visa Chief Risk Officer Paul Fabara. Businesses are dealing with a slew of challenges. You have supply chain and inflation, but friendly fraud is when a customer buys something from your business and then does a dispute on that payment. And the dispute is considered to be not legitimate, meaning that they actually got the product, it's as it was described, but they just have some problem, or they just want to get something for free. And they figure, I'm just going to do a chargeback and get something for free. And that category is intentionally spending money with the intent of disputing the charge after the fact. In one example, somebody interviewed for the article was a guy who has a restaurant. He's experienced a 30% increase in disputes, costing thousands per month. It's brutal because people will go, they'll eat out, they'll order DoorDash or Uber, and then dispute the charge. When a merchant does fight back against the dispute, they typically win about 40% of the time, depending on the nature of the chargeback. So if you're a merchant, what do? Well, the main thing to do is make sure that you're eliminating the easy chargebacks, making sure that it's not out of a mistake. Sometimes if the customer doesn't know the name of your business, they don't recognize it on their credit card statement, they're going to dispute it. They're going to say, I don't know this company. Maybe it's your LLC name on the credit card bill, but your DBA name is on your store. Let's say it's Joe's baseball cards on your store, but your actual company name is Joe Investments LLC. Well, maybe they don't recognize that name, so that's one way to make sure you eliminate it. Also, be very cognizant of customer inquiries and complaints. If a customer complains about something, or they say I didn't get my product, or it was no good, or the wrong color, address it. You don't necessarily have to refund it or fall over for a request, but just at least address it. A lot of chargebacks come from somebody who just feels like they're entitled to take something from you for free because you didn't handle their customer response properly, or you were mean to them, or you were rude, or you took too long to reply. So make sure you have good customer service. Also make sure that the description of your product doesn't leave anything to the imagination. So you describe exactly what they're getting. You don't want to leave anything to chance. One of the things we saw in some notices from the Federal Trade Commission is merchants are responsible for the cognitive defects of a customer. So if your customer is cognitively defective and can't understand what they're buying, they can charge back and they win. It's your fault for not describing it properly, right? So make sure it's very clear, your terms and conditions are clear, your product is clear, and you may still have some chargebacks, and when that's the case, have good documentation. Put together the receipts, put together the shipping, put together the proof that you did business with that person, and also look to contact the consumer if possible. Hey, I noticed you did a dispute. We'd like to hear more about it. Here's the evidence we have. Looks like you bought the product. We have a email from you afterwards saying, how do I open this box, or how do I assemble this? So it looks like we have the records. What gives? Sometimes a consumer isn't aware that when they do a dispute or a chargeback that it comes out of your pocket, the merchant. Sometimes they think the bank just pays it and you still have your money, right? Many consumers don't know that the money comes out of the pocket of the merchant. They think that the bank just writes it off and they eat it and everybody's happy. So they don't think there's a victim. If they know that you as a store are losing that money, sometimes they'll back off. And you can ask them, hey, can you withdraw your dispute? here's the information. In some cases, we've had clients that have actually taken legal action. It's an extreme step, but if you have a consumer that purchased something from you that you legitimately sold fair and square, and that they have it, and that they're just trying to get something for free, we've had clients take legal action. Again, get good advice from an attorney before you do that. But be aware, as a merchant, if you haven't seen it yet, you may see chargebacks and disputes increase over the next year. More consumers are under financial pressure with inflation and maybe job loss, where consumers are trying to recover some of that any way they can, and you might be an easy target because once they hear about a chargeback, they know that it's a way for them to put money back in their pocket.